It began on October 29, 1929, with the crash of the stock market, a day forever known as Black Tuesday. Over the next few years, over 9,000 banks failed. Customers stood outside their banks, hoping to withdraw their money, but their deposits were uninsured, and they lost their life savings. With fewer items being purchased, businesses reduced their workforce, and employment rose. People who paid for cars or homes through installment plans were unable to make their payments, their cars were repossessed, and their homes were foreclosed. At this same time, the Mississippi Valley was experiencing a drought, and coupled with bad farming practices, left farmers without a way to make a living. When the winds blew, the dry soil was lifted through the air, darkening the skies. Fertile farmlands were transformed into barren deserts. Farmers tried to sell their land, often for no profit, or were forced to abandon them altogether. People lined up outside soup kitchens to get a free meal. Many people blamed President Hoover for the bad economy. Those without jobs and nowhere to stay built homes from salvaged metal, scraps of wood, and cardboard. Their towns were called Hoovervilles. Sacramento was home to many of these encampments. They went by the names Rattlesnake, Shooksville, and Rotten Egg. Some of the camps were too dangerous for women and children. Folks believed a better life awaited them in California. They saw California as a land of opportunity, a Garden of Eden, a sugar bowl. Most of them sought work in agriculture. Photographer Dorothy Lang captured many of the images of the unemployed and homeless during this time. This led to her employment with the Farm Security Administration. She is best known for her photograph of the migrant mother. Dorothy said, "I saw and approached the hungry and desperate mother as if drawn by a magnet. I don't remember how I explained my presence or my camera to her, but I remember she asked me no questions. I made 5 exposures, working closer and closer from the same direction. I didn't ask her name or her history. She told me her age. She was 32. She said that they had been living on frozen vegetables from the surrounding fields and birds that her children killed. She had just sold the tires from her car to buy food. There she sat in that lean-to tent with her children huddled around her and seemed to know that my pictures might help her, and so she helped me. There was a sort of equality about it." The writer John Steinbeck was hired by a San Francisco newspaper to write a series of articles about the migrant families at some of the encampments. He was so appalled by what he saw, it moved him to write a book. His novel, The Grapes of Wrath, published in 1939, became an instant hit. He received the Pulitzer Prize in 1940 and the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1962. Steinbeck wrote, "In the eyes of the hungry, there is a growing wrath. In the souls of the people, the grapes of wrath are filling and growing heavy for the vintage." In search of a better life, people began the migration to California. Some traveled the long distance by car. Many more began walking. The bad economy had created hard times. It was particularly difficult for the children of the Great Depression.